Welcome to Unraveled and Rewritten. I'm your host, Joanne Beauvoir. Every season of Unraveling is an opportunity to rewrite your story. And in this episode, I'm going to spend some time unpacking what is actually a season of unraveling. I know that all too well, firsthand. It's a term I actually used before this podcast even was birthed. Having gone through a really difficult season where everything that I knew to be sure and to be certain just in an instant became undone. I want to tell my story, and it's time. It's time for me to share how I've had to rewrite my story in the undoing, in the unraveling. And I know that someone is listening or watching who is feeling like it is almost impossible to rewrite perhaps a story that has been going on for a really long time, a narrative that has been set, maybe your whole life. That was me, okay? So 30-something years of a narrative that I was living out loud and proudly. Married, a mom, I had successful careers, plural, okay? That's a whole other chapter. But I grounded myself in these titles and in these roles. Does that resonate with anybody? Like being a wife, being a mother, being insert the profession at the time, those titles and those roles were the anchors for me. When your identity is built on what you do and not who you are, then when those titles or those roles are taken away, you will struggle to find your way back to your story. So let's rewind 4 years ago, actually even longer than that now, 5 years ago, during the pandemic. And there was something about the quiet of the pandemic that also brought to light maybe some things that you didn't really want to know or see, okay? I liken the unraveling to a sweater. I mean, that's literally where I got this phrase from. You know how when you have your favorite sweater and you wear it, and as it ages and as it gets worn, there may be threads or pieces of that garment that are sticking out. And we tend to push that thread back into the sweater, okay? We don't stitch it up. We just kind of hide the unraveled part of that sweater. And we stick that back into the sweater. And if we do it long enough, sometimes we may have to put something over it, okay? Because the yarn has been worn out so much that you need something to put it together, like a pin or a brooch or something like that. You might wear over it. But the point is that when that garment begins to show where it is frail, where it needs mending, where it is unraveling, instead of repairing that, sometimes we mask it, we hide it, we try to camouflage it. And over time, that only weakens that sweater. It only weakens the garment. So, in my season of unraveling, I liken my marriage to that sweater. There were weakened fibers to that relationship. And instead of addressing it or mending it, I just masked it. I wanted it to have a certain appearance. I didn't want to get rid of the sweater at all. I had made a commitment to this sweater, and so we were going to wear it. And I did, until someone noticed a loose thread, a loose piece of yarn that I had not tucked in really well. And so it was kind of just poking out, sticking out. This person reached for that piece of yarn of my sweater and started to pull on it, asking, like, what is going on here? Like, why does this look like this about my marriage? And as they pulled it, I kind of remember, I remember that moment so well. I remember going, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, don't pull it. Please don't pull this. Please, please, please don't pull this. Oh, and they did. And my sweater was so weak and so frail that there was nothing I could do at that point. Once that thread was pulled to save the sweater, it just unraveled quicker than I could put the pieces together. Imagine, if you can, unraveling. Okay, so you're pulling that thread, that yarn, and it just goes like this. The undoing that happened in my marriage happened so fast. The unraveling happened so fast, not because of an incident or something that happened that caught that sweater on fire. That's not what happened. What happened was the unraveling happened so fast because for so long I had tucked that thread back inside the sweater over and over and over again, that the sweater just never got repaired. It just never got repaired. And so I'm going to pause here and I'm going to ask you the question, where are you experiencing an unraveling? Where are you already seeing that if you do not mend this thing in your life, that over time it will unravel quicker than you can even think to save it? The time to save the sweater was when I first saw the loose thread. Okay? That was the first time. That was when I needed to be like pulling out the sewing kit and trying to stitch that bad boy up, instead of just trying to make superficial repairs. So when we talk about the unraveling, the season of unraveling, the undoing, for some of us, we might need that. For some of us, our season of unraveling may actually be something that we need to have happen. And for others, it may be something that could have been prevented. Maybe more care could have gone into your sweater and it could have been saved. I can't answer that for you. You are the only one who can determine what is worth saving, what is worth mending, what is worth repairing. Okay? But where I am taking you right now is when you've already experienced the undoing. When you've already seen the sweater just unravel. That's where we are right now. That's where we are in this podcast, is how do we take the thing that felt like was always going to be secure, would always be there? How do we take that season, that moment when your life, your identity, or your purpose feels like it is coming undone? We don't want to fear the unraveling, okay? I don't fear the unraveling anymore. I honor it. I honor it. I honor that unraveling that happened 5 years ago, because in my unraveling, there was an invitation, an opportunity for me to pause. It was a forced pause, but a pause nonetheless. A pause, a time to reflect, and I think a call to action for me to rewrite my story. Because for 30 plus years, my story was that I was a wife. I'll get into what else happened that year too. My year was bookended with loss that forced me to redefine my story. I had to rewrite it. Okay. I had to rewrite it. Otherwise, I would have been completely lost. So, in this podcast, and I wanted to take time in the first episode to explain the season of unraveling. What I hope to explore with each episode is how to embrace your growth journey. Because in the unraveling, that invitation that I talked about to rewrite your story, there is opportunity for growth. That in the breaking, beauty is being born. I want us to move every week with a sense of hope and promise that in the undoing, there's this work of becoming. And I am living that, and I want to share that with you. And on occasion, there will be a person on here with me who has gone through their own unraveling and the rewriting of their story. But in most episodes, it will be me. It will be me sharing with you a tool or a resource or a question that will cause you to have to pause and reflect on your own season, and hopefully will propel you, push you, challenge you to want to step forward in this becoming. Okay? So hang in there. Hang in there with me. Come back next week and let's get into what this unraveling really means and finding the beauty in that. If there's anything that you will learn about me over the course of following me on this podcast, is that I am constantly looking for the nugget. Like, there must be some good in the thing that's happening right now. And if there is, I'm going to find it. I'm going to find it. So maybe my next episode will be about how to find that joy, because I could not have rewritten my story in the unraveling if I wasn't also looking for nuggets of joy. There's no way I could have done it. So we'll see. Stay tuned and join me next week, okay? Remember that your work begins in the undoing. It's an invitation. Every season of unraveling is an opportunity to rewrite your story. And I'll see you next time.